I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my god. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like...
He perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan? He's my ex.
Oh.
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
No, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! Surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. He was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code. So I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care.
I was elated to hear her say that, but now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course, Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much? You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. I'll just... But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face, but when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me, and as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday, in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me, too.
I did. but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello?
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend.
Hi, I'm Melody from New York. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my amazing single mom, who had a tough time raising me on her own. As I grew older, I was determined to work hard and give her a good life one day. I got into a great high school on full scholarship and helped her out by waitressing on weekends. One evening, I was dashing like crazy at the subway station. I was so late for my shift. Suddenly, I bumped straight into someone, but I just shouted an apology and ran off to my train. Just as I was about to get on, someone gently took my hand. I turned around to see the most gorgeous boy ever.
Hey, you dropped this!
He placed something in my hand and I gasped. It was my bracelet. Thank you so much. I would have been devastated if I had lost this. I'm so glad I found you. No, you found me. I mean the bracelet. His smile went all the way up to his warm brown eyes.
You're welcome. Do you think we could maybe?
Just then, the door started closing and I shouted, "Sorry, gotta go!" As the train pulled away, I felt like such an idiot. I didn't even ask for his name. For the next couple of months, I kept hoping I'd bump into him on the way to work, but no such luck. Summer break was over, and I was really looking forward to seeing my best friend, Stella, who'd been away on vacation. We hugged excitedly, and she put her arm through mine as we walked to class.
There's so much I have to tell you. But first, did you ever find the train guy again?
No, it sounds stupid, Stella, but we had an instant connection. He almost asked me out, and now he just disappeared.
Melody, we'll hunt the whole city down till we find him. Now come on, let me introduce you to my new boyfriend, Levi.
She walked up to a tall guy, and when he turned around, my heart almost stopped. It was the freaking train guy. He didn't seem to recognize me as Stella introduced us, telling me how their dads were friends and they'd met on vacation. His family had recently moved to our town, so he'd joined our school. Now, of all the guys in the world, Stella had to meet him. The first class we had that day was English literature, and to my dismay, the teacher chose me and Levi to read out something from Shakespeare. I picked out a scene from Romeo and Juliet, but Levi muttered loudly,
Geez, kill me now.
"What, you don't like it?"
No, it's a story about two people who were so dumb I was happy when they died. It's so lame.
Oh, is that your expert opinion as a world-famous writer?
No, it's my expert opinion as someone with good taste. It's not romantic, it's stupid.
Dying for love is stupid?
The dumbest!
You have the emotional depth of a teaspoon.
At least I have a brain. But fine, you want me to be stupid, Romeo? I'll do it.
No, I don't want to now! I pulled the book away from him as he held on to it tight, and suddenly we both fell down, ripping it in half. Everyone was staring at us, and the teacher told us to go back to our seats. Ugh, this guy was so annoying. It wasn't a great start, but because of Stella, we both made an effort to be nicer. And I wanted to hate him, but I really couldn't. He was smart, funny, sweet. He was kind of perfect for Stella? Of course. Some months later, we had a big calculus assignment to work on. But when I went to the library, only Levi was there. He told me Stella wasn't feeling well, and I sat down awkwardly. As we got busy working, I suddenly noticed Levi looking at my notebook.
You're doing it the wrong way.
My answer's the same as yours.
But why use such a long method when there's a shortcut?
Because shortcuts lead to mistakes. He pulled his chair closer and started scribbling away. I could hardly focus. Gosh, he smelled so good.
There, done.
Okay, you're a genius. I'm calling it a day. I gathered my stuff and started to leave, but he followed me.
Have I offended you? Why does it always seem like you're mad at me?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Just tell me, Melody. Why are you angry at me?
Suddenly, the words just came spilling out. Because you didn't remember me.
Wait, what?
Nothing. It's nothing. I'll see you around. And with that, I ran off. Why did I have to say such a dumb thing? A few weeks later, we had the spring dance at school, and I accepted when a boy from class, Eric, asked me to go with him. I was actually having a pretty good time. And when I stopped to rest, Stella and Levi joined me.
That Eric seems like great boyfriend material, Melody.
Yeah, I guess he's nice.
But you're still hoping to find the train guy, right?
Oh my god, Stella, please, shut up.
Train guy?
Oh yeah, babe. This guy found Melody's bracelet at the train station, and they had this, electric romantic moment. But Melody laughed and never saw him again. She even tried looking for him, but nothing.
I just wanted to magically disappear from the most humiliating moment of my life. Eric came just then and whisked me off to the dance floor. The next day, I was just really distracted at work. I broke 2 glasses, knocked over a jug of water, and then I bumped into a waiter, sending food flying everywhere. I was pretty sure I'd be fired, but that night got even worse when I suddenly noticed my bracelet was gone. I broke down into tears, and the staff helped me look all around the kitchen. The manager even let me stay back and search the restaurant once the customers were gone, but I didn't find it anywhere. Feeling crushed, I finally left and walked straight into someone outside.
Hey, what's wrong?
My bracelet, it's gone! It's the last birthday gift my dad gave me! Levi pulled me into a hug and I buried my face in his shoulder. A minute later, he spoke.
A Melody? You mean this bracelet?
I stepped back to see him taking off the bracelet stuck to my coat. Gosh, I feel so stupid. Thank you, once again. And suddenly last evening came rushing back to me. Listen, I did tell Stella I met some guy, and I thought maybe we had something, but I was wrong. I've only ever thought of you as a friend since we met in school, and I don't like you that way, okay?
Well, that's disappointing.
Wait, what?
I would have looked for you myself, but I left town the next day. And when I saw you in school, I did remember you. Melody, I didn't say anything because what was the point? I'm with Stella, and I've tried so hard not to like you that way either, but it's not working.
He pulled me closer, and my heart was pounding. He leaned in to kiss me, but I snapped back to my senses. No, I can't do this to Stella! Please don't follow me! And with that, I ran. How could I even come this close? I really wasn't looking forward to seeing Levi in school, but I found his seat empty. Stella told me his dad was unwell, and Levi had to go back to his hometown to take care of business. I thought he'd be back soon. But days turned into weeks and then months. The school year ended, and one day during summer break, Stella called me to tell me she and Levi had broken up. What? Why?
The long-distance relationship made us realize we weren't that good together. I'm sure we can still be good friends, but that's all we'll be now.
I hardly knew what to say. I wanted to call him and ask him how he was doing, but I decided against it. A few weeks later at the restaurant, I walked over to a table to take someone's order, and I nearly fell back when I saw Levi sitting there. Levi, you're back. It's been so long.
Well, I'm here now. I guess you heard about me and Stella.
Yeah, sorry it didn't work out.
It was the right thing for both of us. Melody, do you think that maybe...
Just then, Eric walked in and kissed me on the cheek.
Babe, is your shift almost over? Oh, hey man, you're back.
Levi tried to hide his shock as he realized I was dating Eric now. He'd asked me out a week after the dance. Suddenly, he got up to leave.
I just remembered something important. I'll see you guys in school.
Gosh, we really had the worst timing. Some weeks later, on my 16th birthday, Eric turned up in a limo to take me to dinner. But when we got to this fancy restaurant, I was shocked to see my entire class there. It looked like he booked the whole place. But to top that, Eric jumped onto a chair, suddenly holding a mic.
Happy birthday to the most amazing girl. To show you how much you mean to me, I'm gonna embarrass myself now with this song I wrote for you.
He started singing and I couldn't stop laughing. He was ridiculous. Just then, the mic suddenly died, and everyone heard Levi saying,
What a loser.
There was a pin-drop silence as everyone turned to him, and Eric was furious.
Dude, is there a problem?
Yeah, just one thing. I don't understand what Melody sees in you.
God, he was so rude! Before I could tell him off, Eric leapt forward and grabbed him by his collar. Levi pushed him back, and he ended up falling in the cake. He attacked Levi again, and they both went crashing into another table. Oh my God, stop it! Levi, what's wrong with you? I pulled him outside.
Your boyfriend attacked me first.
You deserved it. What's your problem with Eric?
He's so annoying and lame, but I guess you like that he's your Romeo.
I like him because he's sweet and caring.
And really rich.
I suddenly slapped him hard. Did you just call me a gold digger? Gosh, you're being such a jerk!
Wait, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, and I don't hate Eric. I just hate that I missed my chance with you again. I wished every day I followed you on that train and things could be different.
Oh, so what was I in the middle of all this? A mistake?
We turned around in horror to see Stella behind us.
So you did find your train guy, Melody. And all this time we were together, you two were in love. Were you secretly making out?
No, Stella, of course not.
Why should I believe you? You lied to my face for so long.
I tried to stop her from leaving, but she pushed me to the ground.
I'm done with both of you.
She stormed off furiously, and I just went back inside. This was a nightmare. The next few weeks were awful. Stella refused to talk to me. I refused to talk to Levi, and everything was a mess. Then Stella didn't come to school for a couple of days, and I began to feel worried. I finally asked the teacher, and she told me Stella and her sister had been in an accident. Oh my God! I went straight to the hospital and found Stella in the waiting area. I rushed forward and hugged her tight, and she hugged me back.
I'm okay, but my sister's in surgery. I'm just so glad you're here, Melody.
I held her hand through it, and we were so relieved when the doctors told us she was going to be okay. We took a walk outside, and Stella turned to me.
Melody, how could you be so stupid? Why didn't you tell me Levi was the guy?
You would have hated me even if I had Stella. And it doesn't matter now. I'm with Eric.
Just listen to yourself, dummy. You're with Eric, but you're not in love with Eric.
I just ignored her. I wasn't hurting Eric now. I'd messed up things enough. A few weeks later, Eric was having a Christmas party at his place. When I came down all dressed up, Mom said a package had arrived for me. I opened it and gasped. There was a beautiful pair of earrings inside that perfectly matched my bracelet. A note fell out.
This was supposed to be your birthday present. I'm really sorry for everything, Melody. I'm leaving tonight, and I'll be transferring back to my old school. I hope you and Stella patch things up.
Levi. What? I couldn't believe he was leaving for good. I went to the party with a heavy heart, and there I had another surprise waiting. Eric immediately pulled me into a room and popped out a freaking diamond ring. What are you doing?
Melody, let's just get engaged. My family would be so pleased if we announced it tonight. We won't get married right away, of course, but...
Eric, please stop! I can't! He looked at me in shock.
Because of Levi, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. I don't want to be engaged. I don't want my life planned out for me. You're a great guy, but I'm not ready for this. I'm sorry. He quietly kissed me on the cheek and just left, and I immediately called an Uber to the train station. I looked around frantically for Levi, and just then, I saw him climbing onto the train. As I hopped on after him and took his hand, he turned around in shock.
Melody, what are you doing here?
Taking a train ride with you. Also, I broke up with Eric. We're both single now. So what do you want to do about it? He smiled like the first time I saw him.
Do you think we could maybe get dinner sometime?
Finally, yes! And he pulled me in for a kiss.
I wanna get too close, gonna get it right now. I wanna push all the limits with you right now.
Hi, I'm Rena, please like and subscribe. I was walking in the school hallway after I failed my chemistry exam for the 5th time in the 10th grade. And that's when I realized that the best thing I could do was look for a good husband and marry him after graduation. I had no future in college anyways. And when I was busy imagining myself as the wife of a handsome billionaire, I bumped into a boy I had never seen before. And in a heavy accent, he said,
You have 3 weeks to fall in love with me.
What? I was shocked, but he looked very serious. I tried to push him away, but he stopped me.
It's only 3 weeks, and I know you very well, Rena. You'll like taking risks. Agree to this and I promise you, you will have the best time of your life.
I stared at him and started talking, but I tripped over something and was about to fall when he caught me just in time.
Easy there, baby girl.
What did he just call me? I pushed him away and fell on my butt really hard. Don't touch me! And where are you from?
Italy!
Italian guys are so attractive, but you look ugly to me. Of course I was lying. He was really cute. And so what? You made a bet with your Italian friends before coming to the States that you will make an American girl fall in love with you in the first 3 weeks.
Kinda, but the bet was with my brothers. It was actually for 5 weeks. But when I saw you and knew you were miserable and ugly, I chose you and told my brothers. Nah, I only needed 3 weeks to make this girl fall head over heels in love with me.
Wow. Who did he think he was? Did you just call me ugly?
Yeah, but people must tell you that all the time, right?
Ugh. I ignored him and walked away, but he followed me and started begging. He told me he knew about my sick dad and that I lost my mom years ago. He offered to pay me $10,000 if I agreed to spend 3 weeks at school with him so his brothers could see us together. And what did I have to lose? I already failed 2 exams. Are you gonna buy me food?
A lot of food!
Deal! And just like that, I became his fake girlfriend. His name was Antonio, and he was super rich. And in the first 2 hours of our fake relationship, he bought me 5 Gucci bags.
If I have to be seen with you, you should change your cheap, ugly clothes. These are your size and your favorite color. Black!
How did you know about my favorite color?
You mentioned that in an Insta post March 2018, and you said from now on, I will only wear black.
Yeah, it's the day my mom passed away, and I was just sad.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me.
I saw this as a chance to make him feel guilty, so I said, I don't know if I can forgive you. That might take a while. I saw a worried look on his face. Perfect! I excused myself to go to the bathroom to do my happy dance first, and then try on all these amazing dresses. When I left the bathroom, Antonio looked really impressed, and so did everyone else. I saw the look on every girl's face who made fun of me and my clothes. And to tease them more, I put my arm around Antonio's. You're amazing, amor mio. In your face, witches! The next few days were heaven. I got the latest iPhone, expensive shoes and clothes, amazing makeup, and the best perfumes. Now, Antonio and I were inseparable, and everyone envied me. It felt amazing. Until one evening, I was studying for a stupid poetry exam. When I felt hungry, I texted Antonio and asked him to bring me some Italian food. A few minutes later, someone knocked on the door. It was a good-looking guy around my age. Antonio sent you?
No English, madam.
Just then, Dad asked me who I was talking to, and I said, some really handsome delivery boy. Too bad he doesn't understand English, and too dumb for a really hot boy.
At least I'm not too dumb to think that Shakespeare is 2 verbs. You even turned it into the past tense. Shook, speared. How did you even come up with that?
Hey, it's a confusing name. Poetry is hard. Oh, wait. Didn't you say you didn't speak English?
Well, your jerk boyfriend, who is also my brother, asked me not to talk to you. He's afraid that you would fall in love with me.
Oh, wow. What's up with this family? But I decided to let it go and took the bags of food from him. And before closing the door, I said, Thanketh thee, I loveth thee.
You just said I love you.
Oh my God! I'm such an idiot. This was so awkward. I just burst into tears. Can you please tutor me? Teach me something, man. I don't want to fail this exam. My dad will kill me.
Okay, I'm gonna help you. Not because I care or anything. It's because I want to tease my brother and spend some time with you to piss him off.
You guys are so honest.
It runs in our blood.
And he pushed me and got inside. His name was Lorenzo, and he was such a smart guy. He tutored me for 5 hours, and the next day, I failed the exam. But who cares? I was the fake girlfriend of a wealthy boy. During lunch, Antonio got me a cute bracelet with our letters carved on it. He was really into this bet, but suddenly he got serious.
Don't you ever talk to Lorenzo again. Do you hear me?
Or what? Are you for real? You're not the boss of me. This relationship is all fake.
I said do not talk to him again.
Who did he think he was, talking to me like that? Just then, I spotted Lorenzo. So I pushed Antonio aside and went to sit with him. I even faked crying over the poetry exam and hugged Lorenzo so tight. He hugged me back. Later that day, I felt really sleepy during the boring lesson and put my head on the desk to take a nap. But someone started throwing paper balls at me. It was Antonio standing outside the window. What are you doing here? Leave before the teacher sees you.
Come with me now. I won't leave until you come with me.
He was crazy. I didn't want the teacher to notice anything, so I just jumped out the window. I fell into Antonio's arms, and his face was really close to mine. I could see how amazing his brown eyes were. I also noticed a scar next to his eyebrow. That's a cute scar. But suddenly Antonio let me go, and I fell on the ground. Ouch!
Follow me.
I followed him into the parking lot, and there I found a fancy carriage with 2 white horses. In what age do you live? But just then, 2 girls pulled me into the carriage and put makeup and a cute Disney princess dress on me. And then Antonio joined me. We reached a beautiful meadow filled with wildflowers. We had an amazing dinner, and I said, "Why are you doing this? We both know it's fake."
I don't know. I just felt like it.
And then he held my hand and looked straight into my eyes. And he got closer. But just then, my phone rang, and I looked at it nervously.
Is that him? What does he want?
We agreed that he would tutor me tonight. I have a chemistry exam tomorrow.
That's not gonna happen!
Oh, I'm sorry. I already texted him and sent him my location to pick me up. And a while later, Lorenzo arrived, holding a pretty bracelet in his hand. He handed it to me in front of Antonio.
Every charm has a different chemical element with its symbol to help you remember them better.
You mean help me cheat better? Man, you're the best! I high-fived him and left him saying bye to Antonio. That night, I studied with Lorenzo for 3 hours. And to my surprise, I was finally able to understand some things in chemistry. I know it was my 6th attempt to succeed, but still. I got up to do my happy dance, and I don't know what happened, but I accidentally poured some soda on his t-shirt. I apologized immediately and started using wipes to clean up his shirt. Oh God, I'm such a dummy. I'm sorry. He held my hand, and I could feel his warm breath on my face. God, he was irresistible.
You're really pretty, Rena.
We looked at each other for a moment, and he got closer to kiss me. But I stopped him. I can't do this. I'm with Antonio now.
But it's all fake, Rena.
I know, but I think he's not that bad. And...
Oh my God. You really think he likes you? How can you be this stupid?
He got up and left. Now I was really confused. Whom did I really like? Was it Antonio or Lorenzo? Next day when I arrived at school, I saw Lorenzo and waved at him, but he ignored me. I walked toward him, but Antonio showed up and put his arm around my neck.
I believe your feet hurt really bad after last night.
Why are you saying that?
Because you walked into every single dream I had last night. Caramelina!
Ugh, so lame. But just then, he gave me my favorite chocolate and said,
I'm not as smart as Lorenzo, and I can't help tutor you, but I can give you chocolate. It will help you remember things better.
I thanked him and left. I spent the few coming days with Antonio because Lorenzo was ignoring me. And one day, Lorenzo didn't come to school, and I got worried because he never missed school. I asked Antonio about him, but he got all angry and didn't want to answer. But I insisted. And he told me that Lorenzo wasn't feeling well and was taken to the hospital last night.
Why are you looking at me like that? Go see your Prince Charming. He needs you.
I left the school and ran to see Lorenzo. I saw him sitting on his bed. He was surprised when he saw me. Lorenzo, before you say anything, I'm sorry about everything. I didn't realize how much you mean to me until we stopped talking. I really miss you, and I was thinking maybe we should go out. But just then, a girl showed up and held Lorenzo's hand. Oh my God! What are the chances that this ugly redhead is your sister?
0. She is my girlfriend.
What the freaking flamingo? I wish the ground would open up and swallow me.
Rena, listen.
No, it's okay! I just ran out of there crying. Why did God make me so dumb? I didn't go to school for the next 2 days, although I finally passed the chemistry exam. But I was too sad. Then I remembered I'd agreed with Antonio 3 weeks ago that I'd let him record a fake video of me begging him not to leave me. to show it as proof to his brothers that he won the bet. So, I went to school and told him I was ready.
For what?
For the video! You won the bet, remember?
I didn't win the bet. Lorenzo did. I didn't make you fall in love with me. Lorenzo did. I didn't break your heart. Lorenzo did.
Wait, are you saying that Lorenzo was involved in this? He also wanted me to fall in love with him?
Wasn't that too obvious, Rena? Can't you just look around you and see who really cared about you?
Oh, stop with your lies! Stop! I don't want to hear anything from you! Good job playing with my heart!
Oh, don't be the victim now. You just assumed that Lorenzo really liked you. And you ditched me so many times to go with him. And you didn't even care about how that made me feel?
Poor boy. He looks sad. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I really need my chemical elements bracelet back. Since the bet is over now, and I won, you should give it back to me. It even helped you finally pass that exam. God, you're so dumb.
I got really mad at him and slapped him hard in the face. And then I got the bracelet off and threw it on the floor. Lorenzo got furious and approached me.
What did you do, you stupid girl?
Don't talk to her like that, you jerk.
Or what? What will you do to defend your little princess other than crying next to her?
And he pushed Antonio away, but Antonio punched him and he fell to the ground. Antonio wanted to hurt him even more, but I stopped him. Stop it! Enough with all this drama!
Yeah, speaking of drama, I just sent you something about your Romeo.
And he got up and left. The video showed when I left Antonio to visit Lorenzo in the hospital that day. Antonio took out a ring box and looked at it with teary eyes. But then he got mad and threw it on the ground. Then he sat on the floor and put his hands around his head. He looked really sad. Is this real? Do you like me?
I love you, Rena. You're amazing and funny and smart. And I understand that you don't love me back. So you don't have to feel sorry for me. You can leave me. I will be okay, I guess.
Or I can give you another 3 weeks to make me fall in love with you.
Really? That's amazing. Shall we start with a ring?
I think we can start with a kiss.
You're amazing! Cutie cupcake!
Wait, my mom used to call me that.
I know! Would you mind me calling you that?
You're amazing, Antonio! I was too blind to not see it. Can you please kiss me now?
I would love to.
Hi, I'm Irina from Russia. Please like and subscribe. My mom gave birth to 2 identical twins, me and my sister Rita. Unfortunately, we were only a month old when my parents divorced. Mom took Rita to the city while I stayed in the village with Dad. Dad was my only friend because growing up I was super shy and preferred to read and write stories in my journal than play with other kids.
Are you sure you want to spend another Friday night alone, sweetie?
Don't worry, Dad, I'm fine. Aren't you happy I'm not going to any wild parties or dating any boys? Then one day when I was 16, I got a strange visitor.
Hi, Irina. Oh, you're all grown up now and so beautiful.
Thanks. Do I know you?
Wow. I guess your dad never mentioned me much or kept any pictures. I'm your mom.
Huh? You're joking, right? But she wasn't. Instead, Dad came over and the 2 of them sat down with me in the living room.
All right. I let you come over because you said you had an emergency. So what's going on?
It's Irina's sister, Rita. She's a model and makes a lot of money, but she started struggling with mental illness and suddenly quit. Now, if she doesn't complete her contract, we'll be sued for a crazy amount of money. Irina has to fill in for her. No one will know. I may have to trim her bangs a bit, though.
Wait, what? This is the emergency?
What a stupid and twisted thing to ask your daughter that you haven't seen in 16 years. Get out of my house right now.
They started arguing and I didn't know what to do, so I just slipped out of the room and tried to calm myself down. But Mom just wouldn't give up. And the next day she made me a crazy offer.
Your father mentioned you write stories and that it's your dream to become a famous author. What if I told you I knew an agency that could publish your work and pay you a fortune?
How could I say no to something like that? After that, I convinced Dad to do the modeling contract and finally he agreed. So I moved to the city where Mom and Rita lived in a mansion. Mom greeted me at the door and hugged me tightly. I still wasn't entirely comfortable with her, but it was nice to feel welcome.
You'll meet Rita later today. She doesn't leave her bedroom. She even has dinner there.
You mean I'll only see her if I come upstairs with you? Doesn't she ever leave the house? Mom didn't answer,
She just snapped her fingers and ordered some servants to get me settled in my room. God, this place was so different from what I was used to. And I was curious to meet my mysterious sister, too. That evening, I was reading in my room when I heard a scream outside my room. I went into the hallway to find the maid covered in food. That's when I also saw Mom and Rita.
I told her I wanted pizza for dinner, not these soggy vegetables.
Of course, baby. Our mistake. But pizza's not good for you right now. We'll get you the tastiest salad ever. I'll give you a raise, all right? I can't have another servant quit because of her.
You always do this. Mom, I don't want a salad. If I don't get a pizza right now, I'll take all of your gold jewelry and give it to the neighbor's dog to chew on and then throw up.
Excuse me, but don't speak to your mom like that. And you certainly didn't need to throw food at your maid.
This is my twin sister, Mom. She has a lot of nerve for a house guest. Also, we may look identical, but her skin is way more blotchy than mine. You should tell the photographer that beforehand.
Geez, this girl was something else. I went off to bed after that, and Mom told me not to take Rita's behavior personally.
I just want her to be happy and healthy.
The next day, I arrived on set, when suddenly I noticed everyone glaring at me and whispering angrily. What was going on? Hey, why is everyone here giving me dirty looks? Did I do something wrong?
Ugh, you're here? I thought you quit after you humiliated me in front of thousands of people. Also, you bullied every single person on set since you started working here, Rita. They were hoping they'd never see you again after you left.
What? I bullied everybody here? And what did I do to you? I mean, I didn't take my meds this morning, so I forgot what happened. Can you remind me?
Ugh, give me a break!
Rita had apparently done a lot of horrible things because every person around me acted like I was some kind of monster. I called Mom and told her what had happened.
You must have spoken with Vlad, Rita's coworker and ex-boyfriend. She dumped him publicly during an acceptance speech for an awards show and said some mean things. Just focus on your work, honey. He's not your problem.
I knew Mom was right, so the next day, I ignored all the death stares and kept to myself. But later that afternoon, Vlad and I had to do a photo shoot together. The photographer was about to start when suddenly she started freaking out.
I cannot work like this. Vlad, how much weight did you gain? The costume designers worked really hard and you. Ugh, forget it. I'm requesting a different model.
What? Why? We've been rehearsing this for weeks and I haven't gained any weight.
He really does look great. Maybe his suit just has to be tailored a bit. The photographer wouldn't listen, and Vlad stormed off with tears in his eyes. Vlad, don't listen to that photographer. You're in great shape. I don't get why she had to be such a jerk.
Well, she wasn't totally wrong. I have put on a little weight. I'm surprised you didn't make fun of me about it.
Have I made fun of your body in the past?
You made fun of it in front of thousands of people. During your award speech, you said you were dumping me because I didn't have abs anymore.
Wow. Well, I'd like to apologize for that. The truth is, I think you're really brave for doing a job like this. I hate having my picture taken. I mean, even though I'm a model. The point is, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I really didn't expect an apology from you. We're still broken up, but thanks for that.
After our talk, Vlad was nicer to me, which made my job a lot easier. One day, I headed to the den to watch some TV when I saw Rita sitting on the couch. What are you doing here?
What do you mean? This is my house, isn't it?
Yeah, but I thought you never came out of your room.
I don't. But my room doesn't have a TV, and I like watching Luna videos on a big screen.
You watch Luna Avatar too? They're my favorite YouTube channel. Their stories are what inspired me to become a writer.
Yeah, I don't care. You can watch with me as long as you keep your mouth shut.
I decided to take the opportunity to spend time with Rita. She obviously had some issues, and I was curious to know more about her. As we were watching videos, Rita's phone suddenly rang, and she looked annoyed.
Why is Vlad calling me?
My heart started racing as Rita answered the phone. Apparently, Vlad had called to ask her out to coffee.
He said he's glad we're getting along better lately, and that I seem happier and healthier. Did you flirt with him or something?
What? No, we're just friendly coworkers.
Listen to me. At your job, you're not Irina. You're Rita. And Rita doesn't want you talking to Vlad at all. I still love him.
You love him, and yet you dumped and publicly body-shamed him? Look, I'm not interested in your ex-boyfriend, but I'm allowed to be his friend. He's not your property, and he deserves to be around someone who doesn't mistreat him. I left before Rita could answer. And the next morning at work, I told Vlad I was sorry if I was rude to him on the phone and that I was happy to hang out.
I really don't have time for your games, Rita.
I'm not playing games, dude. Just whatever you do, don't call or text me on that number again. I got a new number. I convinced Vlad to let me buy him coffee. And as we were walking to a cafe, I saw a lady come up to us with a little girl behind her.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but my daughter is a big fan, and I wanted to say hi. She's just a little shy.
You don't have to feel shy. I'm just a normal girl at the end of the day, like you.
Did your mom buy you this pretty scarf?
Actually, I got it as a present from my agency. Do you want it? I think you'd look even better in it than I do.
No, we can't possibly accept that from you.
Rita, that scarf cost thousands of...
It's okay. Really, I want her to have it. The girl was starry-eyed, and her mom thanked me over and over.
Wow, I can't believe you just did that. You've changed a lot during your vacation, haven't you? Are you in therapy now or something?
I guess you could say that. Vlad insisted on buying me coffee instead of the other way around. And I even got some free pastries since the cashier was also a fan of Rita. I was living like royalty, pretending to be her. And my life as a model just kept getting better. I was getting huge business deals because everyone was amazed at how Rita had apparently made a comeback. But my success drove my sister totally wild.
You're just living your perfect life, aren't you? Oh no, wait! You're living my life!
The only reason I'm even here is because you sabotaged your career with your awful behavior. Rita just threw a pillow at my head and walked off. What a brat. As more time passed, I also started hanging out with Vlad, and we became really close. But I was always hesitant to tell him about my real identity. One night, he walked me home, and when we arrived in front of the house, he took my hand, and I felt my knees go weak.
I had such a lovely day with you. You seem a lot happier and healthier lately. Or maybe I'm just seeing a different side of you.
Suddenly, he leaned in to kiss me, and I found myself pulling away. Vlad, I'm sorry, but I can't kiss you.
What do you mean? I want to give us a second chance. 'Cause you're the new you.
I know. But things with me are more complicated than they look. I have to go, I'm sorry. I quickly snuck inside the house, but when I closed the door, I saw Rita leaning against the wall, and she looked enraged.
I saw you two from my bedroom window. Irina, I told you to stay away from Vlad. I know we haven't grown up together, but you're still my sister, and sisters don't steal each other's boyfriends.
I'm not stealing anything from you. He tried to kiss me, and I refused. But if you still love him, you should reach out and apologize.
Do you think I haven't done that? He won't take me back, Irina. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am trying to work on myself and become a better person. Hurting Vlad was the biggest regret of my life.
I didn't know how to respond to that. And as I lay in bed, I felt torn about what to do. I did have feelings for Vlad, and Rita had been horrible to him, but I still didn't want to hurt her. So the next day at work, I told Vlad I only wanted to be friends.
But why? Is there something you're not telling me?
It's just that. Suddenly, I saw something that made me forget what I wanted to say. The director was putting an envelope next to my purse, and it had my name on it. I left Vlad right away to see what it was. Excuse me, what's in this bag?
The menu for your new diet.
What do you mean I have to drop some weight?
That's ridiculous. We've given you this diet many times, and you are fine. So, can you do your job and follow this diet, or are you going to go crazy and have a mental breakdown again?
I felt like the ground beneath me had collapsed. This was how the agency had treated Rita when she was here. No wonder she'd been struggling. I had to see her right away. I went home and knocked on Rita's door, but there was no answer. Then suddenly, I smelled something weird coming from underneath the floor. So I opened the door and my heart dropped. Rita's entire bedroom was covered with dirty plates, and there was food under her bed that she'd snuck in from the kitchen. At that second, Rita's bathroom door opened.
Oh my God, get out! This is a total invasion of privacy.
Rita, what is all this? The director gave me the diet menu today, and she said she's always given it to you whenever you put on weight. But now I think you have an eating disorder.
My eating disorder led to my breakdown. I thought it was a harmless diet, but they kept telling me that I was still too heavy. So I started starving myself. But I'd get hungry and stuff my face, and the pressure to look perfect got to me. And then I projected my own insecurities onto Vlad. Irina, I was never jealous of you. I just didn't want you to suffer like I did.
Oh my god, I had no idea. I am so sorry.
But it doesn't excuse my behavior. It's turned me into a monster.
I hugged Rita tight and let her cry for a while. And after that, we went straight to the agency to take care of business. But when we arrived, Mom was there, and when she saw Rita, she freaked.
What is she doing here? Irina, I came here to help you sign a contract for a new business deal. We could get into huge trouble if someone sees you two together.
Forget it, Mom. I'm not filling in for Rita anymore. I'm done. You care more about money than you do your daughter's health and well-being. This agency totally mistreated Rita and the other models. And if I stay any longer, I'll go down the same dark path she did.
Oh, Irina, don't be overly dramatic. Rita's breakdown had nothing to do with the agency.
Rita was about to answer when we heard footsteps behind us. And when we turned around, it was Vlad. I hadn't spoken to him since the other day. His eyes got huge as he stared at Rita and me.
Rita, you have a twin?
Actually, I'm not Rita. My name is Irina, and I've been secretly filling in for Rita since last month. She didn't want to continue modeling, but they were going to sue us, and she quit before her contract ended, and...
It was her you've been hanging out with this whole time.
I don't understand. So you both lied to me and the whole world about all this?
It wasn't our choice! Vlad walked away before I could finish, and I was devastated. I wanted to go after him, but I had to take care of other things first. I called Dad right away, and with his help, we filed a lawsuit against both the agency and Mom for mistreatment and fraud. Dad got custody of Rita and got her the therapy she needed, and I was still able to get my stories published. But our little switcheroo was all over the news, and Vlad was still ignoring our calls. Then one day, Vlad texted me to meet him at a cafe, but he said he didn't want to talk to Rita. That was weird. So talk to me. How come you asked me to come here but not Rita?
Because you're the one I want to be with. Irina, you're a better person than Rita is. I was hurt that you lied, but I know you had your reasons.
I'm not a better person than Rita. I just had it way easier than her. She still loves you and wants a second chance.
But she hurt me too deeply, and I don't think I can ever love her the same. You're the one I want to be with.
My heart raced as Vlad took my hands and I stared into his deep, dark eyes. Vlad, maybe someday we can be together, but right now I have to focus on myself. I've been living my sister's life for too long, and I've lost touch with who I am. Still, I've loved every moment I spent with you.
Me too. Good luck, Irina.
And with that, I left the cafe with a smile, ready to start a new chapter of my life.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I'm from Germany. Please like and subscribe to Luna AVATA. I was born to parents who were rich, so rich that we had several maids, chefs, butlers, and drivers who worked around the clock for me and my crazy family. Dad was a genius on the stock trading platform, and Mom was Miss World in 1998. I loved my family, but they were so used to being spoiled that our entire lives revolved around money. Once when I was 7, I wanted to go camping. So Dad hired a set designer to create a camp set in our massive backyard. He also hired a weird mountain man to entertain us with stories and how to make a campfire.
Who wants to hear a bear story?
Yeah, I do. But my sister Lucy, who was 2 years older than me, had her head stuck in her phone. So our camping experience eventually got boring. And soon after, as I grew up, our family hardly spoke to each other. When I was at school, I was crowned the computer genius. Lucy was popular on social media, and we were both the hottest girls in school. Once when I was in 8th grade, 10 boys asked me and my sister out all at once. These boys were so lame and too desperate for our liking. Lucy and I had a checklist. The guys that we dated needed to be smart, rich, and hot. I wasn't worried so much about the rich part. I preferred intelligent guys, and in my school, all of them were rich but also total smurf brains. And then, one day when I was in the 11th grade, a new boy joined her school and took my title of computer genius. I was kind of jealous at first, but when he smiled at me, I melted, having a huge crush on him. Would you like to go out for ice cream sometime?
Will we be celebrating my new title in the school?
Don't rub it in. After that, Gregory and I became an item. He drove a Ferrari and seemed much richer than my family because he lived in a mansion much bigger than mine. Once, when I was in the 12th grade, I decided to visit him at his house unannounced. And when I got to his house, his parents acted very weirdly. I'm here for Greg.
Oh, he's upstairs.
Okay, can I see him? When they finally let me in, I went to Gregory's room and found him busy with something on his computer. Greg?
What? Who let you in?
I'm sorry. I thought I would surprise you. He looked really angry.
I hate surprises. Don't ever come here without calling first.
I was so mad at him when I left. I felt like just breaking up with him, but then he came over to my house with flowers.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have snapped at you. Please forgive me.
I don't know. You acted so strange. What was more important than me?
I was actually planning a surprise trip for the both of us to Thailand.
I immediately forgave him. He was so romantic, and he obviously loved me since he was spending so much on me. We went to Thailand just for the weekend, and my parents liked Gregory, so they also trusted him while we were there. Gregory was all romantic at first, but then he changed when I wanted to go shopping.
Shopping for clothes? Did you bring your credit card to pay for all those clothes?
What? But you said to take whatever you want and you'll pay.
Yeah, but I didn't expect you to buy the entire store.
Lucky for me, I did have my dad's credit card and managed to pay for my stuff. But the next day, I woke up to a shock. Gregory was gone. He left a note along with my plane ticket back home. He broke up with me on a note saying, "Nice knowing you goodbye." What a jerk. I felt like my world was falling apart. Why would he break up with me this way? When I tried to call his number, it went to voicemail. I had to gather my strength and head back home, and maybe then find out why he suddenly just left. Could it be because of all the clothes I bought? But when I got back home, my family was on edge. Everyone was pacing up and down, and as soon as I entered, Dad rushed up to me.
Rose, where's my credit card? Someone hacked all my trading accounts using my credit card, which is linked to every other account. So, Rose, you have to tell me where that credit card is.
I was totally freaking out and tore my whole bag apart looking for that card. And then I asked Dad to take me to Gregory's house, and when we got there, his mansion was empty. Oh my God, Dad, I think Gregory took all our money. Dad looked at me silently. At first, I thought he was going to blame me since Gregory was my boyfriend, but all he did was remain quiet. But Mom and Lucy went berserk.
We are broke because of your scheming, scamming boyfriend.
How was I supposed to know he was a fraudster? He drove a Ferrari and you liked him, Mom.
Yeah, I did. But he was still your boyfriend. You should have analyzed his intentions.
And then Lucy looked at her phone and screamed like someone died. What happened?
The Wi-Fi isn't working. How am I supposed to post my selfies from this morning?
Oh, I was supposed to pay for that today, but not anymore. Girls, I'll be in my office. I have no idea how I'm going to fix this.
I felt like everyone blamed me for this. And after 2 weeks, all our maids, chefs, butlers, drivers, gardeners, and pool cleaners quit because we couldn't pay them. Dad soon started investigating the matter, which was going to take some time, so we all had to adapt to some changes in our overly expensive lifestyle. We managed to keep the house, and since Dad paid our school fees for the entire year, Lucy and I didn't have to change schools, which was a relief.
Okay, so at school nobody knows we're poor, so let's just try and keep it that way.
Of course! Why would I want anyone to know that we're poor? Maybe because it's
all your fault.
I am sick and tired of everyone in this family blaming me for everything. That's just so much pressure. I started crying and Lucy felt bad and apologized.
Okay, I'm sorry, but our life just sucks so much right now.
While we sat sulking about our poverty-stricken life, we heard Mom scream from the kitchen.
Somebody help.
Lucy and I ran down to the kitchen and found the stove on fire, and Mom trying to put it out with a tablecloth, and it was reaching for the ceiling.
Ah, it won't stop quickly. Get some water.
While Lucy thought a glass of water would help, I brought the fire extinguisher and thank God was able to put out the fire. But now our entire kitchen was ruined, and there was smoke all over the place. We gotta sit outside until the smoke is gone. Come on! We all sat outside on the stairs, and Mom was in tears telling me how she was trying to cook, but ended up ruining the kitchen.
I guess we'll have to order food. I hope they give us some discount.
Right then, Dad came in, all smiles.
Hello? Everybody?
Oh, did you get our money back?
Nope. I found a job. I'm going back to selling insurance, and once I make some good commission, I'll start trading again and get all the money that we lost.
Well, Daddy's plan didn't follow through the way he saw it. 3 months went by and we were still struggling, and the only thing Dad could afford was food. So I decided it was time to get a part-time job as a waitress.
But Rose, if you work as a waitress, everyone in school will know.
Yes, I know, but maybe if I work, I can help Dad pay for the Wi-Fi. Lucy immediately smiled, but she wouldn't dare try to get a job since she cared so much about what people would think. The restaurant I worked at was a classy place where all the rich and mighty dine. And one day, while I served a bunch of top-class businessmen, I overheard their discussion about new digital devices. I got excited and couldn't contain myself. I have plenty of ideas for new devices. Imagine having a portable hard drive is something almost like an iPod, but with more space. That way, users will be able to carry all of their important information on one small iPod. We could even make it have a video presentation for business meetings. After I was done babbling, they looked at me, stunned. Then the tall man with a big forehead was so rude.
You can just get our order, please.
I walked away, feeling embarrassed, and then the next worst thing happened when I waited at my next table. They were girls from my school who envied my sister and me all the time, and the worst of them all was Charlotte.
Wow, you work as a waiter? Ha 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 ha, this must be my lucky day. Wait, I have to take a picture of this.
Oh, Charlotte, get over yourself. I work here and earn my own money, unlike you, a spoiled brat forever.
Ugh, that's no way to talk to your customers. Where's the manager? I want to file a complaint.
He's out to lunch, so can I take your order? It was the most dreadful day of my life. But the next day when I went to school, everyone called me Waiter Girl. Since Charlotte posted my picture on Instagram, and during recess, while Lucy and I were minding our own business, Charlotte started being so annoying with her stupid minions.
We've noticed that you two bring lunches to school these days. Should we open up a charity fund dedicated to the richest in the school? Oh, let me rephrase. The poor, smelly girls of the school.
Shut up, Chatroulette. Lucy got up, angrily clenching her fist, and I calmed her down. Don't worry about her, Lucy. She's just a jealous girl who has no goals.
At least my goal is not to be a waiter. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, your goal is probably to be a brainless peanut all your life since you get big fat zeros on all of your tests. Charlotte eventually left us alone, but then after school, Dad picked us up in a rundown car, and Charlotte got the entire school to come and watch us get in it.
Oh my gosh, where did your dad buy this junk from?
At that point, I had had enough of Charlotte's farty face. Just leave me and my family alone. Our financial life is none of your business. Dad was shocked when we got home, and he told us that his contract at work was about to end. So he sold his Land Rover and got us a scrappy car. Life was getting even worse for us. I put on my waiter clothes and got out of the house to work an extra shift. While I was at the restaurant, I found my manager watching Luna AVATA. Wow, you like Luna AVATA?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No problem. I was just surprised.
There was a guy who came looking for you. He left his number.
When I called the number, a part of me was hoping it was Greg calling to say he was sorry and he wanted to give us all our money back. But it wasn't. Hello, you were looking for me at the restaurant.
Yes, our investors liked your pitch that you suddenly decided to blurt out while you were serving our table. We have an offer for you if you could put all those ideas on paper.
Yes, I can. I left my extra shift. I went home and started putting ideas together for new devices. I didn't want to say anything to my family yet. I just wanted to get the offer first. The next day, I met with those business people again, and I was blown out of my mind when they told me I was going to get $100,000. I was on cloud 9. I immediately signed the contract, and they even asked me to stay in contact if I had any other ideas. I couldn't believe this was actually happening, and when I showed my family the check, we celebrated all night.
Rose, you just saved our lives.
Does this mean we can get our chef back? Because I'm getting really tired of eating baked beans every day.
Not just yet. Dad needs to first work his magic on the trading platform, and then maybe. I was so happy to see my family relaxed again. Lucy wanted us to go shopping the next day, since all of our heels were starting to lose their texture. 2 pairs, and that's it, right? We need to use all this money wisely.
Yes, I know. But what if I see a third pair that I like?
Lucy! Just before we could head off to the mall, Dad screamed from the living room.
Rose, you have to see this.
When I went to check what he was talking about, the news was on, and Gregory was handcuffed and sentenced to prison for the next 20 years for being one of the biggest fraudsters in the city. And the parents that he said were his parents were just actors. I felt so relieved. And Dad eventually got a call from the credit card company with good news: all his money would be returned. Soon after that, I completed school, got my degree in computer science, and became the next richest person in our city. And then, one day I even had my own business meeting at that classy restaurant.
Can I take your order?
Charlotte, you work here now?
Yes. So can I take your order?
I didn't laugh or insult her because there's really nothing wrong with being a waitress. We all have to start somewhere if we want to make it.
Hi, I'm Audrey. I was born in a crazy family in New York. Please like and subscribe. My Mexican mom was so proud of her language that she never wanted to learn better English. Dad would say mean things with a smile to fool her all the time, and I hated it.
Wow, this stew tastes like mud. What did you do to it, you insane woman?
What you telling me? Do you like?
Estoy contenta.
As a kid, I never had the courage to tell Mom what a jerk he was, because I knew she'd be sad. But every time he did that and smirked at me, I knew that Mom would soon catch on to his words, and it would end bad. And over time, Mom learned more English from her neighbor friend, and she realized that all these years Dad had just been giving her hatred. Their fights got bigger, and one day, when I was in the 7th grade, Mom finally decided she wanted a divorce. When I had to choose a parent, of course, I chose Mom. We took off to Mexico that same night. Mom, are we going to Grandma's?
Oh, Misha amor. Grandma moved away a long time ago, but we have a new loving family here.
A new family? The cab stopped at a huge mansion, and a strange man ran towards us and hugged Mom. He also said something to me, but I didn't get a word. Mom then took me to a room, and it was all ready for me. Mom, what's going on? Who's this man? As Mom started telling her secrets one by one, I kept sinking deeper into the bed.
That's Carlos, and he used to be my boyfriend long ago. If your grandma hadn't forced me to marry your dad, we would have been a big, happy family already. And you know what? He has a son your age, Matthew.
What was I just hearing? Mom, I left my school, my friends, my whole life in New York for you, and you created your own family here and didn't even tell me about it? How could you keep all this from me? She kept explaining, but I just asked her to leave the room and slammed my door hard. It was so much to take in, and I just wanted to cry. Suddenly, I heard a loud, non-stop knocking on my door. Who is that? Okay, wait, stop that, I'm coming. And I opened the door to find a boy standing outside grinning at me. Who are you, man? Lost your way?
Shouldn't I be asking you that? But your mama. Well, now our mama said,
Matthew, go meet your sister.
So here I am, Hermana.
What? Whatever, don't call me that.
Mama didn't teach you Spanish? Also, I heard New Yorkers are very stylish. But look at you. You're worse than my ex-girlfriend. Hey, that's a joke, okay? Don't cry.
Can you do me a favor and please get the heck out of here? I made him leave, but he left loads of mud on the carpet. That night at dinner, Mom introduced me to everyone, and Carlos even made a toast to me. But after that, they all started talking in Spanish. Was I invisible? I stood up to leave. Then Mom held my hand.
Where are your manners? We're having family time.
Family? You all are clearly a family, Mama. Excluding me. I don't even understand your language.
Oh, Misha amor. Just use the language of love. It's easy, try it.
Mom, can't you see I feel so left out? But you're just joking about it. I shook her hand off and walked up to my room. The next day, I was joining school and thought at least that would give me some relief. Until Matthew came and sat right next to me. Holy moly!
Hey, better not tell anyone we're related. And can you please wax your mustache? People will think you're me.
It's not my problem, you've got a girly face. He hit my face with a book, and suddenly the teacher yelled,
What's going on there?
Ma'am, can you believe it? She's asking me to be her boyfriend. But I told her, I already have eyes for you.
I was sure the teacher was going to kick him out now, but to my surprise, she giggled.
Oh, stop it, you.
What? Who was this boy? Soon I realized Matthew was the coolest kid in school. All the girls and even the teachers adored him for his crazy jokes. Not me! I hated him even more because he spoke in Spanish with Mom every time I was around. I felt like an alien in the house. That Christmas, Carlos was gonna host a grand party, but I wasn't interested. I think I have an important exam that day, and in the evening, I have dance practice.
Liar! We don't have any exams on Christmas. And dance practice. You can barely walk.
Ugh, I was gonna kill him. Seeing Mom and Carlos's faces, I could tell they wanted me to attend. So I reluctantly said yes. And the party wasn't that bad. I got to meet a handsome boy, Leo.
Hey, I know you must already have a boyfriend because you're so pretty. But I have to say, you have the most dreamy eyes. I've been watching you for hours.
OMG, that made me blush. Thanks. Actually, I don't have a boyfriend. Yet we exchanged numbers and started hanging out. He seemed really cool. But one day, when Leo and I were having lunch in the school cafeteria, Matthew appeared out of the blue and pulled me aside.
Have you gone mad? Why are you sitting with that jerk?
He's not a jerk. He's my friend. Maybe future boyfriend. And why do you care anyway?
Listen, he's not a good guy. He flirts with everyone, and God knows how many girlfriends he has.
Look, who's talking? The one who flirts with teachers. Just leave me alone, okay? I can handle my own life. I knew he just wanted to spoil my first real relationship, so I ignored him and left with Leo. After that, we started going out more often. One evening, Leo invited me to his house for a party, and I was having a great time. As we were dancing, Leo suddenly pulled me closer, and my heart skipped a beat.
Oh, Hermosa, thank God you flew all the way from New York just for me.
He held my face, and we kissed. Suddenly, someone kicked Leo hard, and he went flying into a wall. Matthew, what are you doing here?
Just protecting you from this virus.
He took my hand and started walking out, but I pushed him away. You crazy idiot! You're the virus that's destroying my life. Why can't you just let me breathe?
Breathe all you want, but see this first.
He took out his phone and showed me Leo's Instagram page. It had a video of me and him kissing under the caption, 100th kiss from a New York chick. The page had videos of him kissing 99 other girls too. It looked like one of Leo's friends here had been making our video and was broadcasting it live for him. I jumped on Leo and scratched his face.
Ah, the New York chick has gone crazy like her mad brother. Someone save me!
Shut your dirty mouth! I trusted you, you mud mind. And I started pulling his hair like crazy. Matthew gave him a nice punch and then took me home. I felt really embarrassed for not listening to Matthew before. He'd only been looking out for me. So the next day at school, I sat next to him.
Not so worried about this life-destroying virus now, yeah?
I realized it's better to have him as a friend than an enemy. I thanked him for the night before, and he just laughed and hit my face with a book again. As days passed, we became good friends. I also decided to talk to Carlos and Mom and apologize for being so neglectful. But they surprised me instead.
Princesa, we have some exciting news for you.
Sí, mija. Your 15th birthday is coming. And here in Mexico, we call it
quinceañera. But why do you want to do this for me? You know, after I've been, well, not so nice.
'Cause we're family, estúpida.
And you're no less than Matthew to me. I want to do this for my daughter.
I felt so stupid for not seeing this before. These people really cared about me, just like the family I'd always wanted. On the day of the party, I could already hear music and people laughing and talking. As I got ready, I walked out all dressed in their traditional way, and everyone clapped for me. Just then, Matthew barged into the room looking mad.
Stop the party, Papa. This girl doesn't deserve any of this love and attention.
What?
Matthew, calm down. Audrey is your...
Nothing. She's my nothing, Papa.
What's gotten into you, man? I was horrified when I saw what he had in his hand. It was my diary. Oh my God, no!
After all this effort we've been making for you, this is what you really think of us? You suck.
Matthew, enough. What are you talking about?
Oh, let me read it out loud, Papa. This place is hell on earth. I hate their food, their language, this house. Carlos is so loud and annoying. Why is he so desperate to be my dad? Probably because his own son is a loser with half a brain. They're both stupid and I deserve better.
There was a pin-drop silence as everyone stared at me. You should have never taken my diary, you jerk. And yes, I wrote this, but that's when I first came here. I was having a really hard time adjusting. I was just mad, and I didn't really mean it. This is not how I feel now, Carlos. Mom, I promise, I really like being part of this family.
You're not part of this family, Audrey, and you never will be.
And before I could stop myself, I said the stupidest thing ever. Oh, shut up, Matthew. You're not part of this family either, 'cause you're adopted. It was something Mom had told me once, and Matthew didn't know about it. Now he did, because I just blurted it out. Carlos turned white, and Mom looked raging mad.
What a lame thing to say, Audrey. As if. Tell her, Papa. Papa, why do you look like that?
Oh, Matthew, I meant to tell you. On your 16th birthday. I promised I was going to, son.
Matthew looked stunned. Carlos walked over to him, but suddenly he just pushed him aside and ran out. Carlos went after him while Mom turned to me.
I raised you better than this, Audrey, but it seems you're more like your dad, hurting good people for no reason, hurting your family. I'm so disappointed in you. Party's over, everyone.
As the guests started leaving, I ran to my room in tears. I felt terrible. Even if Matthew had read my diary, I'd done something 10 times worse. And the next day, I was back to being the alien of the house. Nobody was talking to me, and I deserved it. Matthew wouldn't even look at me in school. Anytime I went near him, he walked the other way. I tried for days to make it up to him. One evening, I sneaked into his room, finished his history paper, and left it on his desk. When he came home, he took one look at it, tore it up, and threw it in the trash. Then I had an idea for a gift that I was sure would make him forgive me. I used all my savings to get him a signed basketball from his favorite player. But when I looked into his room later, I was horrified to find him slashing it with a paper cutter. Oh my God, what are you doing? This was signed by...
I don't care. I just want you to stop doing things for me and stay out of my face.
How do I make you believe that I'm really sorry, Matthew? I'll say it in Spanish. Lo siento mucho.
There's nothing you can ever say or do that will make things okay. Now please, get lost.
It just looked like things were ruined between us for good. But one evening, I was walking a few blocks away from our house when I saw 2 boys wearing masks drag Matthew into an alley and start beating him up. I charged at them while screaming, and with the baseball bat I had, I hit one of the boys straight in the knee while the other one ran away. Leo, don't you dare touch my brother again, estúpida. I left him there crying on the ground and helped Matthew up. He leaned on me as we walked back home, and as soon as we entered, Mom and Carlos cried out.
Oh my God, what happened?
Papa, I'm fine, really. Thanks to Audrey. But why were you going around with a baseball bat anyway?
I've been following you everywhere for days, Matthew. Leo came up to me a week ago and said he would do something to make you pay for exposing him at his party. I knew you wouldn't really listen to me, so I had to do something. I couldn't let you get hurt. I've done a pretty good job of that myself. Suddenly, Carlos stepped forward and hugged me.
Mija amor, you saved my son today, and I want to forget everything else. I know you didn't mean those things.
And I'm okay about knowing about the adoption, Audrey. It came as a shock, but Dad and I have talked a lot about it since, and I'm fine. It doesn't really change anything. You don't always have to be related to be family.
I understand that now, and I'm so happy Mom brought me to you guys. I'm sorry about everything. And Carlos, you're the dad every girl wants to have. I love you! Carlos had tears and hugged me. Mom did too.
Don't forget me.